Welcome back to NTD Good Morning. The 7th International Figure Painting Competition concluded here in New York City last night. That was, of course, NTD's very own. And amongst thousands of paintings submitted by would-be contestants, only a few dozen were selected and displayed.
The chief judge of the competition explained, technique is essential, but it alone cannot convey inner meaning. The works that truly stand out are those that combine both skill with a message that uplifts the viewer, art that embodies pure truth, pure kindness, and pure beauty.
And we are very pleased to welcome into the studio two of the competition's winners. Lauren Tilden won the distinction of honorable mention for her piece, Appalachian Hymn.
And Miriam Baranov won the outstanding technique for her piece, Isa.
So good to have you both here with us, and I'm so looking forward to this discussion. Lauren, congratulations on your award. If you'd like to tell us a little bit about your painting.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great to be here with you both. So my painting is a portrait of my daughter, Ava. And about 4 years ago, we made a major life change. We moved from New Jersey to rural West Virginia. We bought a farm, have chickens, horses, animals. It was a big shift for our whole family. And Ava, when we first moved there, decided she was going to have an egg business and raising chickens. So this is a portrait of her because we found there's a lot of joy and fulfillment in raising your own food, in working with nature, but it's a huge struggle. There's trials that you face. So this is kind of a portrait that is symbolic of what we went through, of our experience in West Virginia.
Capturing all that in an image, it's amazing. And Miriam, we'd love to hear about your painting that won.
Yeah, so thank you for asking. So Portrait of Isa is a portrait of my friend. It's a painting of her wearing this beautiful Moroccan garment, white with a detail of gold that my family acquired when they were in Morocco. I have never had the reason to wear it, but as soon as she came to my studio and we were planning together this painting, I thought it would be great for her to wear it. That really shows luminosity and glow of something that is her. But really how it came together is I met her when I moved to Columbus, Ohio, and she modeled for me maybe a couple of times. And after sitting for me for 3 hours, I was like, let's try to do something longer. And it turned into 50 hours of us just spending time in the studio. And yeah, and eventually she was like, I love you, we're such good friends, this is really cool, but 50 hours was too much spending time together, so this will be our last sitting.
What a great friend.
You got the record there, and you really did capture that gold finishing on the shirt, and the expression on her face is really present for both paintings.
Thank you.
There's such presence.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something I want to talk about too, because, you know, in this age of AI, we've already got, you know, we've had computers and cameras, of course, for many years, but more and more it becomes that ability to create without the creator, the artists themselves. But there's still that gap there. Why do you choose to create artwork with the realistic style? Obviously, the impulse is within you, but what do you value about realism in your paintings, that style? Lauren.
Okay, yeah. So I know people have been concerned about AI replacing artists in different jobs, but I do not think AI will replace artists because it has no soul. You know, it's a software construct. So no matter what happens, the product will be spiritless. So with the artist, you have the spirit, the human spirit, you have the mind, you have the eyes, you have the physical touch of the hands, and all of that's being conveyed into the painting. And artwork is a physical object. I mean, I know we get lazy and we view it on the screen, which I think is awful. You lose so much versus seeing it in person. So I would say I'm not concerned about it. I think AI will make the actual objects more valuable in the long run.
That's really profound, because having gone yesterday, to see the texture and the brushstrokes and the reflection off the canvas, it was like, I'm so used to just looking at screens all day. So Miriam, I'd love to get from you your perspective on, you know, when you have these easy buttons to create imagery. Why do you focus on trying to reproduce what is classic realistic painting?
So it's a great question, kind of to bounce off of what Lauren has to say. I come from a data engineer background, actually trained in mathematics, and a lot of my family members work in AI startups. So I would have to say that an AI can produce an image with pixels and data. You know, it can create something visually maybe appealing, but what it cannot replace is kind of what we're having right now with you, this experience. You know, so painting is all about the human experience. And when I was talking about my painting with Isa, it was truly not just capturing her, you know, essence, but also I think what really speaks to people and make them stop, like when you go to an art museum and really look at an image, whether it was painted 500 years ago or today, and to feel like you can have a conversation with a person, it's because that's what us as artists capture when we're painting and spending hours on our work.
Wow, so profound. It's not just the painting itself, but that conversation, connection. That's also what I want to talk about, because you know, painting, I imagine, is in many ways a very solitary endeavor.
Definitely.
And you've been spending quite a few days here together with others who really value classical realism and all of that effort and time that it takes to put into that in that solitary way. What's it been like for both of you? But we'll start with you, Lauren, about coming together with others and communicating, and if there's any reflection you have there on your week in New York City.
Yeah, I was completely moved by it. I met artists from all over the world who were so passionate about their craft. And, you know, it kind of gives me chills thinking about it. We had artists who were young to much older, and everyone was so dedicated to what they were doing, to achieving a high level of excellence, that for me, it just motivated me to get back in the studio and get to work. And I have all of these new ideas, things I need to work on, things I need to correct, so I am ready to go.
And Miriam, on that same point, this concept of being around other artists and sort of, you know, reaffirming why you even do it in the first place. Why do you think this type of work that really is looking for that human connection and that divine connection, why do you think that resonates with people?
Yeah, so it's a great question. I would say that just coming to the exhibit and looking at all this beautiful artwork and where the technique level is so astounding, but everything is done in such a different way. I can even imagine if we were to have one reference to work from, whether it's a photo or from life, each artist would do it in a different way. It would be a different painting, because what we're seeing there is the vision and the way that this artist is seeing the world, you know?
So, to me, being a painter is a very esoteric kind of profession. Not something I've tried out myself.
Yeah.
What's some tips or ways that you keep inspired and rituals that you might have in your daily life to get your ideas? Because there is a real sense of purity and beauty in what you do. Lauren, let's start with you.
I would say continuing to read books, read history, read my Bible, because a lot of those stories will inspire me. Walking through nature, taking hikes, spending time with people in my family, people in my community, because those are the type of people who I am trying to capture their souls and their spirits. So that's usually where most of my inspiration comes from.
And Miriam, same question to you. I think that you find that when somebody can achieve a level of accomplishment or mastery in anything, their approach can be applicable to really anything, whether it's sports or education. You've clearly achieved a mastery of painting. So how do you approach, you know, before you're ready to do a session, what gets you sort of in that zone to create such intricate work?
Yeah, so very sophisticated, you know, question. My answer would be coffee is a must-have for me.
Great.
I have to have my coffee.
Well, then
music,
I should go to painting, apparently.
Music and coffee and maybe a nice walk.
Beautiful.
But really it's just a lot of patience, being kind to others and yourself as well. It's like a roller coaster creating a painting, because at some point you start and you have this beautiful vision and the connection with the model. You see a beautiful model in front of you, and eventually you start to fall more in love with the model because you really get to know who they are. That's the exciting part. And I think that's what makes me want to come back to the painting, is just, connecting more with a person. It's a really intimate process. You get to really open up to each other during the 50 hours of being in a small space together.
Yes, and you really feel it. I was so moved, really, because as I mentioned, the presence in both of your paintings and in so many of the paintings that were displayed. And I want to come back to this idea of this kind of intimacy and being moved and that connection that we've touched on in so many ways. But you spoke about part of your inspiration is your Bible, and of course the connections with your community. What drew you to this competition? Our mission is to promote purity, beauty, and goodness. And how does that play out through your approach to art and life?
Yeah, I would say that the mission of purity, goodness, and truth did draw me to this competition, because that's a unique mission for any art competition. I don't think I've ever come across that before. And those ideals are of purity, goodness, and truth did draw me to this competition, because that's a unique mission for any art competition. I don't think I've ever come across that before. And those ideals are things that are so important to me as well, and things I try to convey through my art. So that was the thing that pulled me in, I would say, mostly. And those are also elements that, like I said, I do try to show through my art as well. I was thinking of this quote by Van Gogh. He said one time, or he wrote it, and I'm going to paraphrase. He said, "Anything that is truly good and beautiful in art or man's work comes from God, and art is worship." So when I heard that quote, when I think about the competition, and when I think about the great master paintings, like we were just talking about the Pietà, Michelangelo, there is something so special in all that work, and it comes through, and people know it. Like, you can't deny it. When you stand in front of a painting, or a sculpture, you feel it. So, and I think that that's what this competition is seeking to cultivate in our culture and in the artist.
Well, Lauren Tilden, Miriam Baranov, congratulations to you both, and thank you for your dedication to your craft and inspiring us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.